people have reacted since yesterday. In fact, there will be a lot of reactions. So expect me to come on air anytime, to post video anytime, because at this particular moment is a breaking news, the state of the nation. Normally it's supposed to be the state of Rivers State, but this is the state of the nation. Tinubu declared state of emergency yesterday. In the process, Fubara was removed, but they did not use the word remove. They said Fubara was suspended. An elected governor, elected by the people, was suspended for 6 months. So in case you see the thing saying a suspension, me they tell you say no be suspension. Digest it properly. You will know that any governor being removed or suspended for 6 months, other activities and everything will be happening in your state on your behalf. You should know that you have been removed. What do I know? Let's listen to this analysis.
I'm really disappointed in the president's speech, but not totally surprised. Any person who has, followed developments in Rivers State over the past 1 year, probably knows that this didn't come as a surprise. Charles, much of last year, 2024, the Nyesom Wike group, have been working seriously, trying to destabilize the state, trying to create the exact conditions that will lead to a declaration of a state of emergency. As you probably know, Charles, even in October last year, I think specifically on the 7th of October 2024, those who were supporting the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, burnt down 4 local government councils, during the elections, in Rivers State. And, it's very unfortunate that we've got to a point where even the president, has been sucked into this crisis. It's really disappointing. My own feeling, which reflects the broad spectrum of sentiments across the board, not just in Rivers State, but also in the Niger Delta area, is that the president himself is not a neutral party. As a matter of fact, you could argue that he's had his own fingerprints, written all over this crisis. You may remember that in December 2023, the president gave very humiliating conditions, during his, intervention in the crisis in December 2023. All of the 8 points, that constituted the so-called, mediation points, we are overwhelmingly against the governors Fubara. Not a single point was against the main orchestrator of this crisis, Mr. Nyesom Wike, who is the FCT minister. And now this evening we've had this broadcast throughout the length and breadth of the broadcast. Not a single mention was made, of the FCT minister, who is the main actor orchestrating the crisis in the state, and he happens to be an appointee of the president. It's most unfortunate that the president has come across as an active provider of the oxygen to Nyesom Wike, who has now led the state into such a slippery slope. Charles.
First of all, I must express my opinion by siding with the action of Mr. President as far as this state of emergency is concerned. For the very fact that in the last 1.5 years, the state has been in turmoil, in an endless and intractable political conflict that seriously affects the political, economic, and social life of people of Rivers State, and by extension, threatening the peace and stability of the country. The crisis in Rivers have defied 3 solutions. It has defied legal solutions, it has defied political solutions, and even it has defied spiritual solutions. What is the legal solutions? The journey has been from Rivers State High Court to Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. Despite all these judicial pronouncements, there was no peace. What is the political solution? The president on 2 and 3 occasions tried to mediate between the 2 gladiators. There was no peace. Elders from Rivers State tried to intervene. There was no peace. Elders from Niger Delta tried to intervene. There was no peace. Someone like our late Edwin Clark tried to intervene. There was no peace. Even the governors from Niger Delta, they tried. There was no peace. So you can see how the political dimension to it too has not produced peace. The spiritual dimension has been, there has been prayers from all sides. Prayers has not even delivered peace. So for a president of a country like this, and with a state like Rivers that is not just an ordinary state, a state that occupies a key economic position in the organogram of this country, no responsible president would fold his arms and see the breakdown of law and order. So for anyone holding the position of leadership, you look at a problem and try to contain it from that very point. Because if pipeline are being blown in rivers, it's not going to stop in rivers. And the options are two. For the side of Wiki, they want an impeachment. I don't think they want a state of emergency. And for the side of Fubara, they want to remain in office. If you take the side of impeachment, there will be violence in River State. People are up in the street, lining up for the governor, and pipelines are being blown. So if you impeach him, this is what will have happened. And if you refuse to impeach him, the point is that for now, governance has been paralyzed and stagnated because of the rift between the state assembly. So the options taken by the president is in the best interest of the state and the country as far as I'm concerned. What are the interests of the two sides? It's very clear that the state assembly wants to impeach Governor Fubara, and that is what they want. And to do that, there are consequences for both the state and the whole country. And on the other side, if you keep him as a governor with a hostile state assembly, then with what is going on is that governance will be stifled indefinitely. So a responsible president cannot just fold his arms. Something must be done. I've listened to the submission and the presentation by the earlier guests, and one of my brother was saying that there's need to go to court. This going to court is not producing anything. Even if you go to court, which court are you going? The Supreme Court. Is the Supreme Court that ruled in favor of the 27 lawmakers, and that has not produced peace. So should we now wait for all the pipelines in Niger Delta to be blown while waiting for judgment from the Supreme Court? I don't think this is
What do you say to those who criticize the president's speech today, saying it was, rather one-sided? It did not chastise both sides in this matter, and it's unfair on the governor who's been the president came down really hard to the extent of even calling him a despot.
Well, that is for the speech writers. As far as I'm concerned, my own interest is virtually to share the interests of the people of River State, which is to see that at least for the next 6 months, even 6 months is not just for them just to go and do a sit down, but I believe it's also a window for the two sides to sit down to discuss the issues and find solutions. It has been said that when two brothers fight, it's the strangers that inherit the kingdom. So I want that the new administrator, because for peace to reign in River State, it's not just you have a new administrator who's going to be there for 6 months, who will not make laws, but he too has to engage the people of the state and engage the militants that have started blowing pipeline. If you don't do that, the whole 6 months will be wasted. My own interest is to see that there is peace in River State. There is no troops that can be deployed to end the blowing of that pipeline, because the blowing of this pipeline was directly as a result of the crisis in River State. If you solve the problem of crisis in River State, yes, we have been having piracy and illegal refineries and that, but these ones that happen specifically is about the political conflict in River State. And the only way to avert it, to stop it from spreading beyond where it happened to other parts of rivers and other parts of Niger Delta, and to return the country back to the agitation years, is the action that is taken by Mr. President at this very time. Let me tell you this. You see, most conflict starts with a very small reasons for it. It will reach a certain point whereby even if the political conflict is addressed, there will still be attacks because there are still issues that have been unaddressed in Niger Delta, despite they had one as their own president.
That's it. What's your take after you've listened to that? Press on the like button, help us to share. Join us every day, 7 p.m. on NWATCH Media on our live broadcast so that we all can interact together. I'll see you guys shortly.